Hey guys, this is Catherine with Oracle Intuitions. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. This is going to be your weekly energy reading for July 23rd to the 30th. So we're going to be taking a look into the energy of the mind, body, and spirit, as well as relationships, with a closing message from the universe. Please remember that these are general readings, so they may not resonate with everyone. But I do suggest you take a look into your sun, moon, rising, and Venus sign videos that come out on my channel throughout the week. Also, I just wanted to send a little bit of an apology before we get into the readings. Normally, the air and fire signs would be coming out on Wednesday and Thursday. However, due to we had thick smoke coming in from neighboring provinces because of their forest fires, and my allergies flared up, and I sore throat. I couldn't talk very well. So I wanted to give my my voice a break for a couple of days. So again, my deepest apologies in regards to that. Please make sure that you are a subscriber. Click like, click share, because on Wednesdays at 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, we do provide mini live readings. So this is right here on this channel. And it's such a fun show. We have such a good time, and we do try to get to as many readings as we possibly can in the time that we allot for the show. Also, on Sundays at 2 o'clock p.m., we do bring on different live spiritual guests. Of course, they're live, but it's a live show bringing on different spiritual guests is what I meant to say. So we hope that you can join us for that as well. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing week. Many blessings. Take care. Libra, welcome to your weekly reading for July 23rd to the 30th. We're going to be taking a look into the energies of the mind, body, and spirit, as well as relationships, with a closing message from the universe. Please remember that these are general readings, so they may not resonate with everyone. And also that time in the spirit realm is irrelevant, so these may be upcoming energies, current energies, or some sort of validation from spirit in regards to a past energy. Also, if you're looking for a personal reading, you can contact me at oracleintuitions.com or through my email at oracleintuitions1111@gmail.com. Also, you can reach me through my Facebook or Instagram pages, again at Oracle Intuitions. So let's see what's coming through for Libra at this time. Okay, so within the mind, we have take off your mask. It's interesting because we actually had this with Aquarius. So let's see what else is coming through. We also have sexual art, and we have family and tribe. So for some of you, this may have to do with an energy of not being yourself in some way in regards to possibly people around you or the family and tribe. This could be talking about, really taking off your mask, maybe speaking your mind. So when we have those sexual arts coming through, this could have to do with a matter of being intimate. It doesn't need to be particularly sexual, although for some of you, maybe perhaps there is some sort of restriction, I want to say, in regards to perhaps intimacy because of some sort of past ancestral sort of thing going on here. Maybe your parents were very, held back, or maybe perhaps there was a lot of restrictions, or maybe perhaps you just felt that you couldn't be open in some way with yourself, all right, or towards others. So again, sexual arts, it doesn't need to be particularly sexual. It can have to do with intimacy, and maybe this is what spirit is asking of you at this moment. So let's take a look and see what else is coming through. We also have the seer, the seeker. So you might be seeking perhaps some sort of new relationship or a deepening within a current relationship. I do feel that you're seeking as to who it is that you are. And this is what I'm really getting here. I feel like that intimacy may have to do with actually seeking as to the inner depths of yourself. It's time to really take a look deep inside. Maybe there are things that need releasing. Maybe there are things that you've held yourself back on. Maybe you felt you needed to act a particular way or be a particular person to appease others in the past. And I feel like Spirit is really saying here is to allow that to be let go of. And look at this, take the risk. Take the risk in discovering who it is that you are. I feel like for some, again, there may be some sort of ancestral trait that's going on here. It doesn't mean to need to be exactly a trait, but maybe perhaps, your parents were, or ancestral relations in some way were prude, or maybe perhaps, they were risque, or maybe perhaps, whatever it was. And I feel that for some, you're trying to live up to something within a generational pattern, okay? Maybe perhaps you're just trying to impress friends or family or somebody around you. But Spirit is saying it's time to really get to know you. Who are you? And let go of some of these things that just don't relate to you anymore at this time. Look at this, nature. Now, when I actually first saw this, so I'm pulling this up and it does talk about nature, but I felt the word natural. Okay, what is nature? It is natural, right? It's a natural occurrence. This is just what happens. It's almost like a cycle. And I feel like cycles for you may be ending in some way. You're looking at things in a whole new perspective. You're looking at things and saying, why did I act in this? Why am I acting in this particular way? I don't need to be this person anymore. It's time to move past that and discover who it is that you truly are. Now, I don't feel that this needs to be a 1 week type of process, or a process that's, going to be quick or anything like that. This can be expanding, but I feel like Spirit is saying, it's time to start that expansion. Right? Maybe in the past, again, you wore some sort of mask. Maybe you wore a mask towards others. Maybe even you wore a mask towards yourself. I feel like for some of you, if you are seeking a relationship, this is exactly what Spirit is saying to you. You don't need to be somebody else. You don't need to be like the people on Instagram. You don't need to be on like the people on social media. You don't need to follow some sort of cliche or some sort of fad. It's time to be who you truly are on the inside and allow that relationship to somehow blossom naturally, okay? Because of who it is that you are, rather than trying to be somebody else or presenting something in perhaps some sort of way of wearing that mask. So let's see what else is coming through. 10 of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like, again, for some of you wanting to develop a relationship, or maybe deepening a relationship. Okay, maybe perhaps for some of you, the reason that a relationship isn't in some way deepening or perhaps expanding the way that you want it to be is because there is, some sort of pattern here that is, that you've been following. All right. Maybe you're not being truly yourself. Maybe, your partner is like wanting to go on hikes, or maybe perhaps they're, wanting to, head into nature. Okay. I'm just using this as an example, but that's just not for you. It's not your thing. But you've been following along with it to appease them. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't go occasionally or something like that. But maybe it's time to be honest and say, you know what, this isn't really my thing. Why don't you go? I'm going to go do something that really makes me happy. Or maybe you were acting in a particular way that wasn't natural to you. Maybe for some of you, you do need to explore nature a little bit, get out there, do some hikes, maybe perhaps just allow yourself to immerse yourself in nature in order to discover who it is that you are. All right. Again, safely. Look at this. We have the Lovers coming through. So I do feel that for some of you, again, seeking a relationship or wanting to perhaps deepen a relationship in some way, this relationship could be with yourself. I do feel that for some of you, maybe you have some decisions to make, and this is about following the heart. Okay. So follow what your heart is connected to. You don't have to stay with somebody just simply because of the fact that you feel that you need to stay. Maybe that's where that mask is. All right. Or maybe perhaps there's somebody that you're interested in, but you've been scared to venture towards them simply because of the fact that you don't know if you'll be accepted. But again, Spirit is saying, take off that mask. Whether they accept you or not, at least you're being who you are rather than trying to present a false front in some way. We also have this Emperor coming through. So, the Emperor can really sometimes talk about control. And I feel like there's an element of control that could be possibly going on for you at this time, Libra. Basically, maybe you're trying to control the way people view you instead of just allowing them to view you as you truly are. Okay, the Emperor, he takes charge, but he can be controlling. He can be a little bit dominating. He can be, the one that wants things in a certain order or a certain manner. And I do feel this energy coming through at this time. So if there is, now this doesn't have to do with relationships, okay? Take it in whatever aspect it's falling in for yourself at this moment. But if there is some sort of element that you're trying to control within your life at this time, I feel like Spirit is saying, you know what, time to let that go. Take off the mask, be who you truly are, and follow that bliss of where it is that you're being led to, or what it is that you're trying to envelope or bring through into your life at this moment. Okay, it's kind of like be damned the family and tribe, right? Like, you don't have to follow ancestral patterns. You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't need to be, who people assume you to be. You don't need to be a fad. You don't need to be a cliche. Be yourself. And this is what's going to truly bring in some sort of possible union or growth within yourself. All right, so let's get a look at relationships and see what's coming through. So relationships for Libra at this moment. Relationships for Libra. Remember that relationships do not need to be romantic. They can be friends, family, or co-workers. Just take them as they resonate with you. They may even be a relationship with yourself. All right, first card coming through. How can you feed others when your own table is empty, right? This goes back to that mask. How can you give to others when you're not knowing who you are? Maybe you're expecting things from others when you're not presenting that also. Okay, we can't expect somebody to be who they truly are or say what it is that they truly want to say or whatever when when we ourselves are not presenting this in some manner. I also feel that for some of you, you may have been giving to others, but now you're empty on the inside because of those actions. And so I feel like Spirit is also saying, again, nurture yourself, discover who you are, discover what it is that you want at this time. And it says make peace with your past. So for some of you, this could be very relevant in regards, again, going back into that family and tribe energy, right? Make peace with that past. Just because your parents were one way, or just because, family traditions expected a certain presentation or expected a certain mask to be worn in some sort of situations, doesn't mean that you have to particularly be that way. You can start to really let them go. Make peace with that past, however it is, and start putting the food on your own table instead of, always trying to appease others in some manner. And we have you belong to paradise. So I feel like this is very much like that. It's very much like the Empress to me when I'm looking at this card. I feel like you belong to paradise. It's time to get into that place of personal abundance within yourself. Again, nurture yourself. Nurture who it is that you are. Maybe perhaps, especially if you're seeking a relationship or wanting to deepen a relationship, perhaps for some of you, by taking a step back and starting to focus in on who it is that you are, it can really help change the course or the elements of some sort of situation for the better. All right. So, and it's interesting. I feel like I need to say this, and this is only going to resonate with some, but sometimes when we are presenting a false persona, and again, this doesn't mean that you're a liar. It doesn't mean that you're, being a false person. It's just, you know, that you may be following a fad. Maybe perhaps you think that you need to be a certain way. Maybe perhaps, you know, you're scared to speak your mind, or you're scared to, you know, completely open up. But when we're in that energy, people do feel it. People do feel that when we're not being who it is that we truly are. And sometimes to deepen a relationship or to bring forth new people, when we start really allowing ourselves to present who it is that we are inside, this is where things can truly change, all right? Because that energy is felt. It is felt not only by us, but by others around us. So let's get some clarification and see what's coming through. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. All right. Yeah, we've got the Six of Pentacles. Remember I talked about how do you feed the table, or how do you feed others when your table is empty? This is about receptivity, okay? Six of Pentacles really talks about, are you giving too much towards something, or is somebody giving too much towards you? Whatever it is, there's an unbalance here at times, okay? What it is that you give, you should receive. However, there are people that are going to take. They're going to take and take and take. Whether this is you or possibly somebody else, it feels as though your table is empty because possibly you've been giving too much of yourself, or giving too much of a false self in some way. So again, getting to know who you are. And this is where things really start to balance out. They not only balance out again within you, but they do balance out within others, all right? Maybe for some of you, you need to take a step back from a relationship and just say, okay, look at, I'm going to let this person start putting the food on my table for once, instead of me being the one that's always giving, giving, giving. Or for some, take, take, take. Okay, there has to be an equal balance going on here. We also have the Four of Cups. And we have the Nine of Swords. So I do feel that for some of you, there could be something that has been on your mind. When we have that Nine of Swords coming through, all right, the Nine of Swords really talks about its mental conflict. Okay, it's that energy that keeps us awake at night. It's that worry and that fear and overthinking, and sometimes, you know, it really can be the energy of paranoia. All right, like things that we're looking at are not real. And I'm really getting this energy. Now remember that roles can be reversed in here, so maybe it might be somebody that's looking at you and having that energy of like something it feels off, or something isn't quite right, or maybe perhaps you're looking at a situation and saying something isn't quite right, and this is giving me a lot of paranoid thoughts. Maybe I'm not being myself within this situation. Again, this could be work, it could be friends, family, co-workers, whatever it is. It feels that there needs to be a change within this energy. I feel like that opportunity to really bring forth something new, okay, again, within a current or maybe perhaps a developing situation or a new situation. But are you missing that opportunity to grasp it? And I really feel like this could be some sort of real, you know, warning from spirit in a way. Not a warning like, you know, you're doomed or anything like that, but that warning saying, look at, you know what, stop presenting some sort of false mask towards a situation. This even could have to do with just something very small. Maybe there's just an issue that you want to bring up towards somebody, but you've been presenting some sort of maybe perhaps enthusiasm towards something that you're not truly enthusiastic about. Maybe perhaps you're holding back words in some way. Maybe perhaps you're just not being honest about a situation, whatever it is. I do feel that for some of you, you really need to take a look and say, okay, look at this is what I have to say, because this is going to make me feel better on the inside. This is not only going to help the situation, however it's supposed to help the situation, okay? Meaning that sometimes we could say what it is that we want, and maybe the other people don't agree with it, and they, you know, they walk away, or perhaps they you know, they just might not agree with it. However, if we're not presenting that truth and that honesty for ourselves, all right, we're going to be stuck in this energy of that Nine of Swords, where we're feeling like we're not being open, that we're wearing that mask, where we're not being that true vulnerable selves in some way. And this can really hold back energy of helping other things expand and helping other things grow. If somebody doesn't take you for who you are, then why are you with them? I think that that really comes down to the bare bones of something. If you can't be who you truly are with somebody, then why do you even want them around? Okay? That's, that's really the bottom line. So let's get a closing message from Spirit and see what is coming through here. Closing message from Spirit for Libra. Closing message from Spirit for Libra. All right. Surrender. I cannot make this up, guys. Surrender. It's time to surrender. Surrender to who you are. All right? Surrender to the universe. Surrender to your higher self. Surrender to your own personal vulnerability. All right, this is going to truly help whatever situation is currently going on at this time. It's time to just surrender. Don't try to control. Don't try to present yourself in a way that's not being honest with you, and surrender to your inner self. So, Libra, I hope that this has helped. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time. Have an amazing week and many blessings.